There has always been uncertainty about what exactly is meant by data. What exactly is data actually made of? What kind of substance? What kind of matter? This brings us to the heart of the matter. The question, is data made of matter? Or is data rather substanceless, that is, immaterial? Tough question. Currently, it's generally assumed that data is incorporeal, without substance. This implies, among other things, that data cannot be owned. A grave consequence. Ownership cannot be established for substance-free, ghostly, bodiless phenomena. Is data really without substance? And if not, what kind of substantial composition would then be in question? We will offer an answer. For this, I now invite my colleagues to join me.
Hi. We're looking at digital data processing here. We'll cover the machines where data processing happens, as well as their environment. The term data processing itself shows the way. Data is processed and transmitted and stored. All of this is processing. Is substance-free processing by a machine possible? Or to put it another way, can a computer work with something that doesn't physically exist? Are disembodied phenomena processed, stored, and transmitted in digital technology?
Good day, I am Karen. My task is to now take these thoughts a little bit further. So far we have heard, machines only process what is physically present. Machine processing must extend to physical matter.
So we must identify and describe a material phenomenon that underlies digital data processing and is physically defined as matter.
To do this, we will look back at Albert Einstein. He was awarded his Nobel Prize for the discovery of the photoelectric effect.
And not for his theory of relativity, for instance. That much is already certain.
At the center of the photoelectric effect is the photon. The photon is a packet of energy with various properties. It is considered an elementary particle. Photons represent the central framework for one of the four fundamental forces of physics, the electromagnetic interaction.
Electromagnetic interaction. This includes light, radio waves, electricity, and magnetism.
Exactly. Now, however, one gets onto thin ice regarding the describable properties of a photon by postulating that the photon be assigned a rest mass of 0. Rest mass of 0? Where then should the matter come from?
Good question. Because matter, that would be mass plus space. But here we really have to look very closely at the details, because we are not just talking about simple mass in general, but specifically we are talking about rest mass.
A photon is never found at rest. It always moves at the limit of the speed of light. As is well known, mass cannot be accelerated to the speed of light.
So, it is a fundamental fact that a photon has no rest mass.
The reference to 0 rest mass is merely a theoretical concept used for calculations. Photons travel at the speed of light. As a result, a photon provides a contribution to the mass of its system in proportion to its energy.
Occasionally, this is also referred to as relativistic momentum, among other things. Let's summarize. The photon possesses an equivalent mass through its energy and its momentum.
Not easy, but that's just the way it is.
All processes in the field of electromagnetic interaction, so light, radio waves, electricity, magnetism, you name it, are based on the presence and mode of action of photons. They shift electrons, change polarities, and function as the physical basis of digital computing technology.
In this process, the two possible charge states are used, namely magnetic and non-magnetic.
In the world of digital technology, this is often defined as the binary digits 1 and 0.
Which represents the basis of all digital processing instructions, which we call a bit, and these, when strung together, we refer to as a byte.
We have asked an AI for an assessment. You'll find it linked under the video.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Mark. The IITR had already initiated a judicial clarification on this years ago, with the outcome still pending. Actually, a clarification that the European Court of Justice was supposed to bring about. Data is matter. Every machine processing takes place on a material level, even when the derivation of the existing materiality proves to be quite challenging. The correct derivation, however, would be by no means insignificant. If one were to recognize the materiality of data, it would potentially be capable of being owned. The protection of personal data, and thus the protection of individuals, would become more concrete. Although the collection and calculation of all conceivable data can no longer be prevented today, also due to the use of AI. Data for illuminating all shades and nuances is available. Ownership of personal data in favor of the person described therein would strengthen the actual core of data protection, which, by the way, also corresponds to the spirit and letter of the EU Charter of Fundamental Rights. Thank you for your interest.